Why does Vulcan hair work as a character design when really it shouldn't? Hi, my name's Leah. I am an absolute sci-fi geek and a full-time lecturer in hair, makeup, prosthetics, visual communication, and all of that good stuff. So I'm here to break this down for you. If this is your kind of content, hit the follow button. So when you think of Vulcan hair, you probably think about this, Spock's hairstyle. And you would be right to do so. Spock's haircut and character design influenced all Vulcan designs throughout the movies and the series. This hairstyle was the start of it all, and it was influenced by a number of factors. The first one being that it was designed for an American 1960s audience. And this is really important because what happens when we design for sci-fi is we take the most modern and up-to-date trends and we make them quite extreme because it feels modern and unique. This is really common in sci-fi and pretty much anything that's set in the future, and it's also the reason why some sci-fi dates really poorly. So when we think of 1960s men's hair, we don't just think of Spock, we also think of the Beatles. And yes, that styling will have influenced Spock's hair. However, his cut was a much tighter cut, a little bit closer to what's known as a Caesar cut. Both of these cuts are typically styled in quite a messy, texturized, shaggy way, but Spock's wasn't. Now, the reason for this is the associations and connotations that come with a messier hairstyling. Again, we're talking about the 1960s. Messy, shaggy hair was associated more with youth rebellion. It was associated with the rebels of the period, and that's not very Vulcan-like. Spock's character was meant to be seen as quite rigid, was meant to be seen as following the rules and logical. The messy styling just wouldn't have aligned with that connotation for the period. Having that pristine styling also sets him apart from the rest of the crew. It kind of makes him less human because humans have messy hair. Sometimes humans' hair, falls across the face. Sometimes there's a little gap in their fringe, but Spock didn't. So it's another way of differentiating him from the rest of the crew. As for those sideburns, they are thoroughly 1960s. However, the shape is kind of a cut that we'd see more so on female haircuts, but is also reflective of some of the styles that came within the male mod hairstyling. And this is why Spock's haircut was so perfect. It was a modern cut that made Spock still feel cool. It was in line with his character because it was solid lines, it was rigid, it was perfect, not a hair out of place. So there was alignment with the character that they were attempting to portray. So this pushed the audience's expectations without offending them. So it was a modern style that was associated with rebellion, but it was styled in a way that was very neat. So it was pushing their limits while still remaining safe and rooted in what their normal looked like. Now, throughout all the different series and movies, Spock's hair changed a lot. Some of the redesigns were loved, some of them not so much. So if you'd like to see me do a comparison video where I talk about if those styles worked or not and why, let me know. But I'll catch you next time.